Hello, everybody, and today we are back on another Sunday with Miss Maryam, and she's an educator, she's an academician, and she has a lot to her basket of career. So we'll be starting off from her, and it'll be a privilege in case she could tell us more about herself in the podcast. So it's over to you, ma'am, on the screen. We'd like to know more about you. If you could explain us your academic journey so far.
Thank you, Dr. RC. My name is Maryam Bashir Ribadu from Adama State. I am an educator and also a youth empowerment advocate and also a business woman as well.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. So, the first question that I would ask you from perspective of your academic journey is that there might be certain challenges that you have faced so far in the academic journey, right? So, from the classroom to teaching to now being a director, can you please share certain challenges with us so at least the audience can learn something from you?
Yeah, it will interest you to know that I actually found myself in the classroom, not because I really wanted to. I can say it's the best thing that had ever happened to me in my life from for me being in the education sector. Actually, my passion grew in the classroom. My passion grew because I happen to be an accidental class teacher, not an intentional class teacher. But to be candid, being in the classroom, it has been the best thing that had ever happened to me. I can tell you that I started my journey to ensuring supporting a family, sort of. I was employed by my dad because the school was actually is owned by my father. And so it was even a kind of instruction that you should go to the school and work. But it's not something I ever wanted to do. But when I got into the school, I realized there's a lot I should be doing in there. I realized there's so much that is missing. The primary school I attended was far better than the primary school there. So I began to do some changes. I began to work with the team there to see that we make a difference. The best thing I can tell you that happened to me is when I see that we make changes and it reflects on the children. I see the love that comes from the kids. You see, every day as a teacher, you might think you are going there to teach them new things. But if you follow carefully, there's a lot the children teach you too. The
That's
best
very
thing
true.
that
That
will
is very,
happen to a
very,
teacher,
that's very
I will
true.
tell you, is
That's very true. I
you
agree with you.
when you do this work sincerely, yeah, when you do it sincerely, you find out there's love. The love between you and the children is directly from the heart. Even when you discipline them, even when you frown at them, they will still come back to you. They will still come to you, hug you because they know you love them.
That is very true.
And I
I
can tell you that,
completely relate with you. Yeah, of course. I second your
yes,
thoughts.
the love, the love, the love I have for these children, whenever we have any little challenge, it gives me sleepless nights. I think over it. Sure, there isn't any day that will pass that I will pray to God.
Yeah.
I can't rest. I studied biochemistry. I studied biochemistry. I had nothing to do with education. But over time, through the journey, I realized the need to get the professional qualification in education. So I had to go into training myself to become a professional educator.
Okay.
From the classroom, I was a class teacher. I began an administrative role of an assistant head teacher. From assistant head teacher, I assumed the role of a supervising director of the school.
Wow. And
And
that's an amazing
yeah,
journey.
and I can tell you over a decade now, there's so much that has happened. There are a lot of transformation, a lot of transformation. The best part of it is seeing the reflection of the school values on the children, seeing us arising and getting to actualizing the school mission. I have seen these children grow up to be young, disciplined, very creative, and yet very responsible in whatever they do. It really gives me joy. But all of this come with a lot of challenges as well.
Yeah, that is very true. That's very true. So thank you so much for such an in detailed response to the question, and I could truly relate to what you were talking about because that's the same profession we share. Okay, so anyway, so the
Yeah.
next question that I want to ask you because you seem very passionate, and I know you're very passionate about it. But an interesting question I thought I'll ask you from the conversation, but let me just have the formal question now. So, what is one particular thing that passionates you about? Uh, how would you define yourself now from the career progression so far? So, what is so passionate about this career, and then how do you define yourself?
Really, as I told you, my passion grew in the job. But right now, what I see, my interests have actually diversified, diversified from the private sector to ensuring every child deserves quality education. In the private sector, parents can afford. What about the children whose parents cannot afford the fees? What about the children where the public schools are not up to standard? The standard education delivery is. So my interests have actually shifted a bit to the disadvantaged children.
Okay. So, because you were telling us that you never wanted to be a teacher, and you accidentally landed to in this profession. So, what you wanted to be initially,
Yeah,
and why? Why not
actually,
teaching? It's a very nice profession.
I studied biochemistry. My interest was actually pharmaceutical biochemistry. And to
Okay.
an extent, if I couldn't find myself in the pharmaceutical industry, I had interest in the industrial biochemistry.
Okay, I see.
That's
From the science background,
that's
I
where
see.
my ambition went. So,
Are you somehow trying to
yeah. But right
relate to
now,
or trying to achieve your
I think
ambition?
growing
Are you able to achieve your ambition also now with this teaching career? Somehow?
um
Not really.
not at all. It has shifted. It has shifted
But
completely.
but your
It
focus is
has shifted
completely now on
completely.
the kids. It's a very nice. It's a very
My focus
yeah,
is completely now on education, not just the children, but the system.
that's true.
The system. This is
Very true.
something every hand must be on deck to ensure that every child can have access to quality education. Every child is a right, it's not a privilege.
True. Very true. So
Not
right.
just an education, but a quality education.
Which I guess you're trying to fulfill through the NGO motive that you have, right?
Yeah, and so that is actually what had given birth to being a co-founder of Mentor Empowerment and Development Initiative.
Yeah.
Here we talk about education, we talk about empowerment, we talk about health, we talk about, we talk about the well-being, we talk about humanity in general. This is about humanity,
In fact, it's a very.
humanity first.
I was really astonished to see the length of bio that you sent to me for like whatever you have been doing so far. And I thought, how will I cover this entire structure, whatever she has been doing since in a small podcast. The podcast is not at the right place to cover the entire story. So I just picked that academic part and let me just talk about that and reflect how the NGO has been working so far and what is your contribution. Because your journey is immense, is huge, cannot be covered in the entire podcast. So yeah. So okay. So the next question that I'm curious about is that you had diverse career perspectives. You had impressive career paths. So starting from a classroom teacher to now overseeing the school as a supervisor or a director, what inspired you for the transition of leadership role in the education? Apart from your father's choice of pushing you in that particular domain?
Well, I think he only played a role in pushing me there. And when I got there, I once told a friend, if you are asked who are you, I tell them that I am the engine. You know, the engine carry the heat and make sure that the vehicle moves, right?
That's very
So
correct. Yeah,
I am yeah, I am someone who always want to solve a problem. I don't want to see a problem at all. When there is a problem, definitely there's also a solution. So
100%.
in my for him as my father, he only pushed me into the school, not that he did not in any way, convince me to stay. I convinced myself to stay. The environment convinced me to stay. The need for me to stay convinced me to stay. Do you get it?
I'm getting it. Totally,
Yeah,
I'm getting your. I can get your feelings. This generally happens in case we have a family business in the house, and the kids are supposed to, they are supposed to be the successor of the parents. But yeah, to build, to transform it into your own way, to mold it the way you want it, that's the main journey. So yeah, very nice to know.
yeah. This journey has been so much amazing because of the kind of team I had. There is something about education. For me, I see education as a bedrock that every human being should go through it, not because you are going to be in the classroom. For you as a mother, for someone who is a father, for you as a co-worker, for someone who in the leadership role, for someone even in the marketplace, for someone in the hospital, we all need education because in education is broad. It talks
Very true.
about psychology, it talks about, yes, it talks about philosophy, it talks about everything, our day-to-day relationship. Education is wide, but the good part of it is, I think, from the classroom now occupying the role of the most, the most senior person in that organization is leadership. Is leadership, your ability to carry your team along. I have about 100 staff under the
Oh,
school care,
okay.
from academic and non-academic staff. We have about 700 learners, nearly a community of 1,000 plus,
Good.
nearly
That's a good number.
2,000 community
That's
members.
a good number. And it's not very easy to
But
handle.
all of that, yeah, yeah, all of that is not a small number. It comes with a lot of challenges. I won't say it is perfect, but we are working day in, day out to perfect it. The good
I
part
can
of it at this
I
point in
can
time is
imagine it's not
administrative.
easy to.
You know,
It's not
pl-
easy. Yeah.
yeah, it's about planning, organizing, staffing, and everything. You outsource your resources. You make sure that the school day-to-day running activities are functioning. So it's about leadership now. It's
Hmm.
not just about being in the classroom,
Right.
ensuring the standards is being maintained. It's ensuring that every staff member is comfortable within the work environment, ensuring that every member of the community is doing the right thing. The guiding principles, especially the best instrument I have seen in administration is ensuring that you have the right policies, get
Right.
these people well informed on these policies, give them guidance, give them support, so that you can all understand what you are into.
And then
And
even
and
you're
I can
answerable
tell you,
to the
education is not.
parents, right? You're answerable to parents, to the community, everybody who's
Yeah,
involved.
yeah, yeah,
So,
exactly. Education is not for everyone.
no,
Education is not for business sake. Anyone who is into education to make money, I think the person is in the wrong place. Because for me, my principle is I don't compromise. I do not compromise. No. When it comes to standards, I do not compromise.
we should not rather
Not
actually,
at all.
especially when especially being in this industry, we should not actually. It's almost like compromising with the future of the kid.
We are battling through a lot. And the worst of it is these products are going to move into the workforce. How can they be productive? The productivity level is low.
Right, right. That's one of the reasons
It only encourages.
when my friend told me that you
Yeah,
want to be on the podcast, I really wanted to invite you because I was like, these things should actually be highlighted. They should be brought to the surface and everybody should know. Yeah, it's a very important topic of
yeah,
concern.
yeah. And a lot, and as I told you earlier, this has given birth for me to see how I can make an impact outside the private sector now.
Right, right.
Well, it's quite wide. I don't know how much of time we have to really discuss about other things outside the education private sector.
No, we can maybe in some other podcast because yeah, because
All right.
30 minutes are always short of time, and as I already mentioned that your profile is too huge to be covered in one particular podcast, and the way you're contributing is immense. So of course, in the future also I'll keep on inviting you, and we'll try to share and bring this thing to notice of everybody. That's the social cause.
Yeah, but for sure, one thing I am very certain about being in the education sector is a blessing. Anyone who found himself in that sector, you do not decide for yourself. You are an instrument in somebody's life. You are a reason to make these children guide them right, or you end up guiding them wrong. You either build them up or you destroy them. You are their pilot. You can only do that with love and respect.
Yeah,
If
you're building
you
the next
cannot
generation.
use
Yes,
love and respect,
yes, yes.
God, the child wants to hear that. The child wants to know how much you care about them. They want to know how much you love them. Tell them, make sure that you talk to them through the heart, because you can't tell the child you love him or her without talking from the heart. They know. They know.
I know.
They are just angels in their special form.
Yes, yes. So they know very well that in case you vibe with them or you're not in the right mood, they understand it very
They
well
know.
at all. Yeah. And because they're so nice, so automatically you gel together because you get a lot of things to learn from them. Because me, my journey, I personally feel that it's a both way process. You have to make it more interactive because you can learn from them also. Nobody's perfect, right? Though
Yeah,
they actually appreciate you for whatever you do,
exactly.
but still there's a lot of learning curve that you transform and enhance for yourself also. So it's one of the most amazing
Exactly.
journey. My mother actually told me to pursue this one. I wanted to be in the corporate. She actually inspired me to do the same. She's also an educator, and she wanted me to go in this domain
Wow.
because it's good both ways. If you try to manage your work-life
Yeah,
balance and your family, of course,
yeah.
and then of course contribute to society. It's a very nice, enlightening profession. So yeah, I'm blessed. We both are blessed. All of us, all the educators are blessed.
Is blessed.
Yeah, because not
Yeah, we are blessed.
everybody get a chance to be and then survive and sustain in the same profession. So yeah, by God's grace, inshallah,
Exactly.
everybody. Yeah, we should be contributing somehow to our best contributions to this.
We are rebuilding great minds. We are building future leaders who are going to be game changers, who are going to ensure that the world is at peace, who will advocate and stand for the right things. This is what the next generation of future leaders should be, the kind of future leaders we should build. And I think we are headway.
Yeah, yeah, by God's grace. So, we are trying to also match to the sustainable goals and somehow contribute our part, whatever is possible from our side. So, yeah. Okay, so it's nice to know about your journey and being an educator and an entrepreneur. So, how do you incorporate the lessons from the classroom into your business and in leadership practices? Because we know that we can learn something from the classrooms also and the students. So, how does that make you balance and incorporate your leadership?
In this journey, I have learned one key thing: to be
What is that?
patient.
To be patient, amazing. Yeah,
to be
that's
patient.
very important. That's very important.
I did learn to be patient. I am telling you that I do not rush. I take time to ensure that processes are being put in place and are being followed to get the results you want to get. Naturally, I grew up to be someone who loves fashion.
So let me also tell my audience that she
Exactly.
also is
But did
in
you know that this
fashion business. Yeah,
yeah, but did you know that this profession changed me?
yeah.
It changed me. Yeah, because I realized you can't be working on heels and putting up heavy makeup to
That's
the
very
classroom.
true. That's very true.
It's
Not easy.
going to be distracted, right?
Very
So I had to
distractive
change.
and yeah, very
Yeah,
difficult to
I had
carry.
to change a lot of things. I had to change. Even the things I love so dearly, I had to stop doing them. But I also made sure that through this journey, the children look up to me.
Yeah,
How do you look? How do you speak? How do you walk? How do you relate? They learn in all little details, in every little details that we exhibit in one way or the other.
very true.
You
Very
know,
true.
education is beautiful.
It's amazing,
It's so
especially
beautiful.
when they come up to you and they
So
tell you that they want to follow you, or they
um
want to follow your path.
so
They want to
for
be like
for
you.
for for
So
for me, yeah, for me, I have to ensure not just me. How about my staff members? How is everybody appearing? How do they speak? How do they inspire these children? So
yes,
you have to ensure that everybody is on the move to
right.
giving these children something great to imitate.
To also build a
Because they are
culture.
great
Everybody has
imitators.
to follow the same norms, right? That's
Exactly,
very true. Yeah.
exactly,
Very
exactly.
interesting.
So this in this journey, I learned to be patient, to be more modest. Right now, my social interaction has changed over time because I know wherever I am, they will still find me. And when
Yeah,
they find me, they will want to see what I'm doing there.
right,
I have to give them something great to do.
right, right,
I can't dress anyhow. I can't speak anyhow. I can't appear in anywhere, you
right,
know.
right.
So I had to moderate my lifestyle completely for the
Yeah,
sake of these children. I have them now in hundreds. They are now grown ups, in their teens and 20s now, early 20s now. So they are everywhere on the social media, everywhere.
yeah. It has to. I can
So
understand the thing that because it has to be very. You have to think before you do anything because there's an impression there, and it's an
exactly.
example that you set.
What
You
impression are
can't be
you
doing
giving?
whatever you want to, and maybe
Sorry.
generally even by nature also. Even personally, I don't want to do anything else. I even want to contribute to society, but still, you have to look at your steps before you move forward because you set an example and they associate.
Very
Even
good.
even in the time when they come
So
back,
you have to you
yes,
have to just you have to maintain certain standard even in your
very
lifestyle
true. I completely agree with you.
because you
Yeah.
have you have a lot of fellowship. And here, over this journey, over the time that I have spent, I had to sacrifice everything of mine. My relationships had to suffer, friends and family, because it was only building a system. I was focusing on that alone. And I
Maybe
can tell you
maybe
that a lot has suffered.
maybe
But
later on
right
you
now,
might
I'm trying to
be
uh,
blessed
pick up,
with it.
pick up, yeah,
Yeah,
pick up one or two
gradually.
things. My fashion business is something I loved doing. It's something that is part of me. So a lot of times people compliment how my look, my dressing, and so I decided to put up something. Even though it's still at a baby stage, I'm still nurturing it with at least a customer of about 50 or so.
Hmm.
So we do make clothing, I sketch design for the fabrics for our
Right.
customers, and I do that based on your body size. How are you? Are you the quiet type? Yeah. So it's something I have started doing since 2017 with a team of very passionate young men and women. We started it as mentor empowerment development initiative. No, we started as
One of the
mentor
one of the
Africa
most
development
amazing part about
initiative.
you is that from your different businesses and domains, you're actually trying to have more empowerment also and more employment also in your area. And that's very important because it's a
Yes,
very important
yes,
contribution to the
yes.
economy. So it's not easy to handle diverse portfolios, at the same time. So yeah,
It's not.
not easy.
It's not. It's not. It's
I
difficult.
especially when you
Very
have
difficult.
formal, official, permanent job, and then you're doing that as a passion. It's very difficult to coordinate both of them together. Sometimes time falls short, so I can totally relate with you. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. But then we are coming up. We are coming up. But one aspect I am very much interested and want to see that we make a huge impact right now is on the children, the disadvantaged children, is to see how we can align the energies of our youth to making them wonderful people,
right,
people with living with purpose.
right,
We want
right,
to see how we can carve out young minds to identify their purpose, to be intentional about their life. We have to ensure that our young people, the vulnerable children, especially the girl
yes,
child is somebody who is very key in every community to ensure her safety, to ensure that she is educated. If you can educate a girl child, you have empowered a whole nation.
true, very true. That's very
It's
true.
just like empowering a whole nation. After ours, if there's anything great I feel um, is as a girl child, having the opportunity to inspire other girls is the great thing that happened to me. And truly, this I could see even among my girls in the school. They have never in any way performed shortfall of what I expect of them. They are so amazing. Every girl child deserves to have this equal opportunity to go to school, to be given the all the privileges. When we talk about gender equality and gender equity, it's not about cultural biases and what have you. It's about humanity. We deserve to be happy, we deserve to be at peace, we deserve to be safe.
That's a very good point. It's not about the cultural perspective, but it's actually about uh, in equity and
We
equality in the right
we
way.
deserve to be
To be
safe.
safe, to be still be able to
Yeah,
move around,
we
finding
should be
support.
treated with respect. We should
Right,
be treated with respect. We should be treated with all sense of um, respect.
right,
We should be carried along. You see, when you are able to raise a girl child, she is there for you. She is there as a mother. She is there as a daughter. She is there as a sister. She is there as a wife. She is there as a manager of resources because she is naturally meant to be a manager of resources. She manages a lot.
right.
She manages a lot. And so how a mother raised a boy, she raises a girl. So if you talk about education, the best person that even have to that deserve to have education is the girl child because she is going to raise other children.
Right. That's very
And
true.
as a
She's
community
going to
member,
carve everything. Right.
exactly, as a community member, in her little way, her contribution as a mother, as a wife, will definitely take the community to a greater level.
True. Very true.
So we can't afford
We can't afford to ignore.
compromise,
Right.
take the child education for granted.
Yes. That's a very valid point and a very strong one.
In any little way, I want everybody around in any little way, no matter how little it is. Empower a girl child. Empower a girl child.
So we have a lot of
Even
programs
if it
the
is
government
to,
is
even
running,
if it is to say
but sometimes, they still fall,
good,
fall short and they're not.
even just to say you can do this is enough for a girl child. When
Yes,
we are in the boardrooms, we should be allowed to speak up. When decisions are being made, we should be consulted. You know,
true, true, that's
when
true.
policies are going to be passed, the girl child is special in her natural way. God has made her special. There are a lot of things that will suit the men, but doesn't suit the girls.
What you were talking about, I'm easily able to relate to something. I was actually having a listening to a TED talk. I came across somebody who was actually talking about this. That even when you hold the key positions, the main positions in the main roles in the organization, sometimes, whenever you go outside and you have more males around you as a proportion, you're not even respected. You're not even greeted well. You're not even. Are
You
you
can't
getting me right?
even
So the moment you were talking about this, I could relate to that person. I heard the TED talk and I was like, okay, that's the same thing she's talking about. Okay, so Miss Mariam, I truly agree with your point, and I appreciate the way you strongly have posed this point to in the podcast. It's a very important concern we should actually bring to highlight and limelight. So yeah, last we don't want you to go. So because it's a very nice conversation going on. Time is actually falling short because of which I had to close. But in case I get a chance another in the future, so I'll actually invite you again so we can discuss on these very important topics. But that's the last message that any feedback, any message, any suggestions that you would like to give to the audience based upon your experience so far, what they should follow, what you have followed so far in your life, any kind of statement or any suggestion, anything, advice.
yeah. If you if you if you want to succeed in life, you must have a guiding principle as a person. You have to have you have to identify the values you stand for. You will have to adhere to those values at all times. You see, integrity is key.
It's key.
It will take you time to build it. It will take you a lot of time to build it. And in just little time, you can destroy it as well.
100%. Whether somebody's watching, not watching, be you should keep your integrity intact. That's very true.
But and then for the young people, it's never too early to start, and it's not too late to start. There is no job that should be taken less. You do not, you should not in any way entertain what other people say about what you do. Just have a purpose and follow it. When
Right.
I started my role as a classroom teacher, I was a laughing stock for a lot of people, even including some of my family members. She is just a teacher.
That's a
It
very
gives me
big thing to
immense
do. I
joy.
don't know why it's so underestimated, so underrated. That's one of the major problems, actually. But how
A
can you
lot of
can you how can
people are
you
there.
how can you render and deliver knowledge and information without having one yourself? It's not possible to
I
provide
think
information and knowledge.
what do castle in one day. It takes you
That's
time,
so
hard
good.
work,
Mm.
a lot of resilience, skills, upskilling, learning, relearning, unlearning. These are all very key important things one have to be doing if you want to grow. For the young people, today, as a school administrator, I run my tailoring shop here. I'm into fashion designing, I do other things. This can be regarded as my side hustle. It doesn't need a qualification. It only needs skills.
Right.
We have to be intentional about whatever we do
100%.
and planning.
Yeah.
We should Young people should get mentors. They should ask questions. You don't wait. You go look for it.
You go
Where
look
there
for
is
it.
no
You go
opportunity,
hunt for it. Yes.
you have to put up an opportunity for yourself. You don't wait for an advert to come to you. You go there to crave for that advertisement. I am here. I can do this for you, for you, for that. You present yourself to even volunteer for free. You see, you can never, money cannot buy you experience.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
with your experience, you can earn money.
That's very true. And something which comes very
So
easily, you don't value
I
it.
think
So
this
you should go and hunt for it. Put some efforts and get it.
I think that's all I can say for our viewers, for our listeners. We all together can build a bright future together.
As a
Collective is a
yes,
collective responsibility to make life worth living for every human being. And with whatever we do, we can be educators, we can be health workers, we can be engineers, we can be tech workers, we can be whatever we are, humanity first.
very nice, clearly
Let's
explained.
cut
Very
out
sweet.
all the biases, all the cultural, whatever. Humanity first.
Right.
Humanity first.
Every unit counts, and we're supposed to be together as brothers and sisters. Yeah. So it's a very beautiful message. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for featuring on the channel, for finding out time from your busy schedule, and still able to give us nice stories to share with our audience. And I'm really glad. I'm glad I had this. I'm glad I took the opportunity given by Dr. Faiza. Let me appreciate her also because I was not aware of you. I was running my own channel. I was like, but she told me that you want to channelize here. You want to feature here, and I'm really glad personally
yeah,
to know you because it's a very important concern that we have discussed today. And maybe in the
yeah,
future also we'll get more chances to discuss. But and the way you're presenting your thoughts, you truly are an educator and an academician because it reflects from the way you're
wow,
speaking,
I take that
your
as a
ideas.
compliment.
It's
Thank
100%
you
a
so much.
compliment, of course. So even I was
Thank
enjoying
you.
the conversation. It's not just because I
Wow,
had to do the podcast, but because I was enjoying it, the process.
wow,
So
thank you
thank
so
you so
much.
much for being here and nice to meet you once again. We'll have more sessions with you in the upcoming future. I hope the
Thanks.
audience learn something from you and then they comment and I can connect you with them just from further guidance. Okay, so I'll be ending the podcast here. Thank you for the time once again.
Thank
Nice to meet. Nice to have
Thank
you.
you so much, Dr. Arati. You're also very amazing, and I am so glad to meet such a pretty woman from India. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much
much.
for
That's
your
a
time.
compliment. Thank you for the compliment. You are equally amazing and pretty and nice. So it's nothing from India. It's you
Thank
are
you.
equally pretty. Look at the way you're dressed, and I'm sure this is almost
Thank you.
one of your creations as a fashion designer. Yeah. So
Yeah,
you are actually a brand
yeah.
ambassador for so many businesses. So I really appreciate you as a female. Thank you so much. Nice to
Thank,
have you.
thank you. We have a lot to do together.
100%, of course.
So,
I'll get back to you. It's a good collaboration through this channel, and I'll get back to you once we are done. I'll keep you
all
posted with the video, and I'm sure the viewers will enjoy having you on the channel.
right,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye. Take care. Wow. So this was her, and I was really happy to have this conversation on the channel because it's a very important concern to be brought to everybody's notice. So I don't want to make it boring for you guys, but there are certain topics or concerns that are supposed to be brought to the notice of people. So, because as she said that every unit counts and we can contribute our part, let's see how it actually helps us to mold our better future together. So, I really enjoyed this podcast myself, and I hope I like the podcast. I hope you can learn something from us. You could somehow contribute to keep you intact and entertained with the content because it was really interesting to listen to her. So I'm sure we'll have more of such interesting podcast on the channel, and I hope you liked it. So comment below, share, like, subscribe, share as much as possible because people should connect together, and maybe any one of you can also be featuring on the channel very soon. So thank you so much for the support and love so far, everybody, and thank you for subscribing with us. Thank you for so much of love. I can see the family is actually growing on the channel. So I really am delighted and I'm humble at the same time to thank you enough for the support and the motivation, because when you guys like, and I feel like coming on the channel, I can spare some time and then still show and stand on the channel. And that's my contribution towards the social welfare, and to bring somebody's story on the channel. So at least they can get a limelight. The way she tried to approach me and wanted to reflect on the channel, I'm really glad at the same time that she was here, because we could learn, even I could learn, and I could relate very much being an educator from her. So and she has a lot of other domains. I'll be posting a short video about her bio. It's not just education, but other domains also, apart from education, that she actually working on. And it's not easy as a person, individual person, at a very younger age, to have different diverse portfolios. So I hope she is an inspiration for you. She inspires you somehow, and you can start today what you want to be. Thank you so much.